Hello everyone and welcome back to another Top Heroes video. Today we are going to be giving an update to our top 10 tips and tricks for beginners video. It's going to be another 10 tips and tricks to help propel your teams forward as you progress through Top Heroes. Let's go ahead and get right into it. The first tip is going to be picking your faction early. As we know, there are 3 factions in the game. You have League, Horde, and Nature. The importance of choosing your faction early comes in the fact that it is very expensive to switch later on in the game. For all free-to-play players, it's going to be almost impossible to switch and catch back up with those people that are already far, far ahead of you in months of building their teams if you decide to change after Season 1 or during Season 1 as more heroes come out. First, let's start with League. League is very easy to obtain. It's expensive to max because they do have more legendary heroes, so it's going to cost a little bit more shards to awaken those heroes. You have to awaken Nun, Pyro, Bard, Adjudicator, so there are a lot of heroes that you have to awaken that cost extra shards. The good news is very early on, they're strong because of high DPS from Pyro, and they're easy to obtain. The meta is going to be mostly legendary heroes, and you get those mythic heroes much earlier on in the game. So it's very easy to get the meta team. That team is going to consist of Adjudicator, Rose Princess, Nun, Paragon, and then Pyro, Bard, Bishop, or the new hero, Artificer. Next up you have Horde. Horde is going to be the faction that is going to take the most patience. It takes the longest to obtain the meta build. You get their mythic heroes last at the end of Season 1. However, it does come at a cheaper cost to max level. Total shards needed is 5,845. However, you only need 9 soul stones, so it's not going to be too expensive as you're just going to be mainly focusing on one hero, whether that be Soulmancer, Warlock, Barbarian, or Swordmaster in your meta build. As far as performance goes, they are very strong and able to defeat League once you get into the end of Season 1. And they are the best performer in PvE as far as damage goes, with high burst damage coming from Wukong, sustained damage coming from Desert Prince. It's a very overall strong faction. And finally, we have Nature. Nature is kind of middle of the pack as far as time it takes to get the meta. They are easy to obtain, or easier than Horde, and the meta is 3 mythics, 3 legendaries, so you are going to have to get 27 soul stones. As far as performance goes, they are able to beat Horde pretty easily in the end game once you get them all maxed out. They are still able to beat some League teams as well, and their damage is decent with Tidecaller pulling most of the weight. You do get the best hero in the game with Tidecaller, so that's another perk to choosing Nature. Our next tip is going to build off of decorations. So in our first video, we talked about decoration farming in adventure mode. Well, now we are able to kind of take a look at some of the decoration sets. And it's also important to realize that Tip 1 and Tip 2 go hand in hand. You want to pick that faction early so that way you can focus on things such as decoration sets. So when we look at our decorations, you can see that depending on the type of decoration, you're getting set attributes. You can get damage increases, soldier HP increases, and then you have faction specific. So Heart of the Horde, you're going to be getting a level cap increase to Horde and a Horde march size. With League, you also get hero level cap increases, and then Nature has its own under Moonlight Forest. So you'll want to make sure that you are looking at these whenever you're getting those chests, whenever you're getting decorations, and leveling up the best decor for your setup. Tip number 3 is having an understanding of traits. So traits are available under all of your heroes, whether they be your legendary, epic, or rare. However, there are specific heroes that you want to focus on and when leveling up their traits. Specifically for our epic heroes, we want to boost Brawler, and we want to boost Knight. And that's because of their third trait. So Knight is going to be providing soldier training speed increases, and you can max these up to 30%, so level 30 trait. And then if we go to Brawler, this is the one that you want to prioritize first. And that's going to be an increase in research up to 30% once you get it to level 30. So all of those universal epic hero shards you'll want to be throwing into Brawler first, and then into Knight to make sure that you're getting those boosts that you're looking for. To pair that with the traits of our purple heroes, you also have the trade store. The trade store is important because it's going to allow you to get rid of some of those extra epic shards and rare shards to get more shards of the epic and the legendary heroes that we want. So you can see here that I'm able to trade rare shards for 2 ranger shards. These are not ones that I necessarily want, but it's an option. You can get some healing speed increases. Most importantly, you want to know which ones to not use whenever you're trying to get legendary shards. So again, save Knight and Brawler. And if they have some good other passive bonuses, like the Ruby gathering speed is actually pretty good, especially later in the game when you need tens of millions of rubies for everything. The other important thing is meat. So meat is a very scarce resource as you get to the end stages of leveling up your heroes. So every single day, make sure you're going into your trade store to exchange for meat. Do not exchange meat for anything else. Always just try and max your meat out. Other key things to note whenever you're getting meat is to make sure that your guild is always using the guild ranch and that you are sending somebody to gather. So we can see that I have recently just finished gathering, so I need to send out another gatherer to the guild ranch to maximize my meat utilization. Our next tip is going to be focused on gear. So when we're exploring in adventure mode, we can see what bosses we need to finish killing. So this is important to go through and make sure that you are, as you can see here with Axe Bob, I am getting every single possible chest and Lord's gear, gems that I can get. And you also want to make sure that you're getting as much gear as possible. Tip number 6 is looking at the gear once you have obtained it. So it's important to note several things when you're looking at your gear. First is to make sure that you're always leveling all of your gear at the same intervals. So we can see we have our gear maxed on Wukong, but if I come and I look at Beastmaster, we are in the process of leveling from 30 to 40. We want all of our gear to be in the same space of 10 levels because that is how you get your Enhancement Master bonus. So if we click on this, you can see that we are at plus 30 level, because all of my pieces of gear are level 30 or higher. If I had gotten 1 to 40 and 1 to 20, this would be stuck on 20. So you do not want to miss out on those additional attribute bonuses because you're not leveling them all at the same time. So what you want it to look like is what you see here. All pieces of gear are at the specific 10 level interval to get the max bonus. An additional piece of information that you'll want to know is what happens if you have your gear mixed. So let's say that I had this piece here. Mixed with a plus 10, a plus 10, and a plus 10 purple. If we look at our Enhancement Master, even though this is a legendary piece of gear, it's going to fall to the lowest possible rarity and lowest level that it can whenever it's applying your attribute bonus. So it's ideally not a good idea to mix and match your gear. Tip number 7 is going over the best guild events. So in our previous video, number 7 was the good guild. You want to make sure you get in the strongest guild that you can get into. That way they can protect you and you can get the best loot. Well, which guild events provide the best loot? There are several different types of events. You have guild race, guild arms race, and kingdom versus kingdom. These types of events are all going to provide you rewards and give you different types of gear. Of these options, I would always try to perform best in guild race. And that is because of these tokens that you'll be getting that you can spend in your Guild Honor store. In your Guild Honor store, you are able to purchase a lot of pretty rare items. So you're able to get legendary universal relic shards, you're able to get universal hero shards, gear shards, dragon essence once you get into the season 1, and then also where you're able to get soul stones. So this is going to be the best event to get these tokens. That way you're able to come in here and get these rare items. Next up, we have server rules. So this is something that's going to be set up by your #1 guild in the server. Typically, they have all the powers, so they're going to kind of just set up whatever rules they want. I would suggest that you have a base set of rules for your server, because most of these events that we are having in Top Heroes are not going to be between guilds of the same server. They're all server versus server events. So it's important to make sure that your guild is prospering, but also that the other players in your server are prospering. That way you're able to perform at the highest possible level during server versus server events. And my last tip is to just set you up with what you should be doing with all of your marches once you've done your dailies. So it's important to make sure you finish your dailies, and then what? What do we do with our 5 queues that are just sitting there not doing anything? So you can see mine are idle, except for the one that I have sent out earlier in this video to go and get meat. So what I do is I always make sure that I auto join my strongest. That way I can help my guild members defeat Legion bosses. So make sure that's enabled. That lasts for 8 hours. So it's going to be out there, joining all of these rallies like I just joined this one here and helping our guild. The rest of these are going to need to be gathering, and gathering one specific tile, the ruby tile. This is something that I wish I had done a lot earlier on, was gather as much ruby as I could, because it is going to be the bane of your existence once you get later into the game. Meat and rubies, the 2 resources that are always running dry. That is going to be it for today's video. I hope this was helpful and teaches you a little bit more about some of the tips and tricks that are going to help your team thrive in Top Heroes. Make sure to give the video a like and subscribe to the channel, as we are still on our way to 5,000, and I will see you all in the next one.